Hello everyone, we are here with another mod, and this time we are playing what I'm technically calling Esper Spoils, but it is basically Ad Nauseam. Some of the Ad Nauseam lists are playing one Ad Nauseam, and Ad Nauseam has kind of had a bit of a resurgence recently, especially against some of the Bean decks. Scam is definitely a terrible matchup, but some people are having success. So, did I speak too soon when I said Adnals was in trouble, or basically dead like a month ago or so? I think no, but maybe it has come back to life. Maybe it has come back to unlife even. So yeah, no, terrible joke, I know, but we have some innovations on sort of what are the classical Adnal shells at the moment. I tried a version where I was running a whole bunch of cantrips. I think I tried 4 Preordain, 4 Serum, 4 Slight, and that list just did not feel very good. So I moved towards this. Now, Profane is pretty stock at the moment. Pact Negation, Grace, Spoils, Oracle, all stock stuff. What I'm doing a little bit different, and the idea of having more interaction is also stock at the moment. What I'm doing a little bit different is, one, I'm running Talismans over Pentad Prism. So Talisman enables a turn 3 combo almost as reliably as Pentad Prism. Yes, Pentad Prism does require only 2 lands. Talisman can potentially get you there with Talisman requires a 3rd land that Pentad does not, but Talisman doesn't require colored mana, and that's important when I'm playing Urza's Saga. So Urza's Saga does a couple interesting things for the deck. One is it provides us an alternate means of pressure. We can put pressure onto like a control deck or something like that, and we can then use the window created by that pressure to go for a combo. We can have it be food for Beseech the Mirror, which I'll talk about the Beseech package in a second, but Urza's Saga is very good at generating food for Beseech. It can be an interactive piece. It can be a Hope of Girper to fight counterspells. It can be a Nile Spellbomb to shut down graveyards. It can be a Pithing Needle or maybe an Aether Spellbomb out of the sideboard. Nile Spellbomb plays nicely with Inverter, which we might need, which is a Beseech target. Springleaf Drum is basically a 5th mana rock, but it's also fetchable by Urza's Saga, which helps fix some of the potential color issues that Saga causes. So we can fetch out a Springleaf Drum, and then if we made a construct when Saga was on 2, just pass the turn, make a construct, untap, you fetch out a Springleaf Drum. Even though our Saga is not producing us colored mana, that's okay. The Springleaf Drum produces that 4th colored mana that we need for Oracle Grace Spoils. So it mitigates some of Saga's downside of only producing colorless mana. Talisman, played off of Saga, is safer because obviously we would have 2 counters or no counters instead of, it doesn't use Sunburst counters, so we don't need to worry about the colored mana there. Beseech is acting as missing pieces here. So while the primary combo is Oracle Grace Spoils, I have one-ofs of the expensive versions of some of the combo pieces that have their own unique upsides. So we can potentially, on turn 3, Beseech for an Unlife, Beseech for an Inverter, or Beseech for a Jace, depending on the matchup. So Beseech is not really a dead card when we don't have the full combo, and it might be like, well, yeah, we can't really Beseech for a Spoils because that's awkward and super expensive, and you're right. So what we do is we Beseech for an Inverter the turn before. And it's a little bit hard to Beseech for a Grace because, again, that's super expensive. That'd be a 7 mana combo, so what we do is we Beseech for an Unlife the turn before. Or similarly, if we need Oracle, we Beseech for a Jace. So it is an extra copy of all of our combo pieces, but in a way that is different. So it's things that can be played in advance. Jace can be played in advance and sit and play. Inverter with a card in the graveyard or two can be played in advance. And in a slower game, it can also just be used as Diabolic Tutor. So I think Beseech has a lot of interesting upside. The thing is, we need to make sure we provide it with enough food. So we've got the talismans, we've got the 1-drop artifacts from Saga, we've got Saga itself, and then I'm playing 1 Misvault Bridge just as a little bit of extra redundancy as far as having a Beseech target. The other nice thing that Talisman does is on turn 2, I can play land, Talisman, and then use the Talisman to immediately play either a Thoughtseize or a Preordain, which is good if I want to play a 4-drop on turn 3. It gives me a window to play some of that interaction. Springleaf is acting as a 5th copy of Talisman and or Pentad, because if you have 3 lands and a Springleaf in play, you can play your Oracle and then use Oracle to make the Springleaf mana to get you to 4 mana to Grace Spoils. The sideboard is a little bit less finalized. Leyline is pretty important right now against Scam. Urza is in there as a fair Beseech target, so if you just don't have any combo and you want something to go get, then you can go get an Urza and have it play nicely with Urza's Saga, some of your constructs, and just have like a fair threat. This could be like a Shieldred. There should be a ring in this deck, but I don't have the 1 ring online, so there is none, but there definitely should be a 1 ring in this deck. Damnation is a reactive card. If we need to do a board wipe, it is a Beseech target. A little bit of interaction in Ending, Spell Pierce, Echoing Hercules. Some swap targets for Saga, Needle, and Spellbomb. Mirror of Fate is maybe not the best card, but it is a try for grindier discard matchups where it's going to be harder to assemble 3 combo pieces in hand. If we can just play a Mirror of Fate out and then only need to find an Oracle, that could be stronger. So it's an attempt for situations like that. It's probably the card I'm least impressed with in the sideboard at the moment. I just don't think it comes up enough, but it's a try. So that's the list. That's the plan. We have some interesting... I feel like this deck is interesting in that a lot of the cards work together situationally really well. So it kind of feels like you can kind of do something no matter what your hand is, which is nice, and some of what I liked about some of the Esper inverter designs that I was working with a little while back. So without further ado, although if you look at my clock, you can see I actually recorded this after the league, but without further ado, let's get into the matches. All right, we are here with round number 1. Our hand is not the worst. On the draw, I am going to keep this. We need a land, but we do have 2 of 3 pieces. We have a Beseech, we have a Jace, so we have a little bit of redundancy. We have a little bit of permission with the Thoughtseize, so that's nice as well. So our opponent puts a card on the bottom, and they have mulled to 6. And they lead on an Urza Saga. So leading on an Urza Saga, I'm thinking Amulet. Okay, no, Scales. Scales makes sense here too. So let's see what we draw. City of Brass. That is good. That lets us play on life. I am going to Thoughtseize here. And we can take... I'm thinking the Automaton is the faster clock. I don't really care that much about Soul Cauldron at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to take the Automaton. So, I mean, yes, they can play Hangerback, but Hangerback is definitely slow. Or they play Soul Cauldron. That's also kind of slow. Let's see what they play. Hangerback, okay. So they're looking to just get in there with some damage. Turn 2. Alright, we draw a Hope of Gearper, which I will go ahead and play. Next turn we have Unlife lined up. We're looking for spoils. So we can see what they get. Floating mana and then searching. This is suggesting to me that they want to play Cauldron. Depending on what they get, I will strongly consider trading this for the Zabaz. Okay, they got Springleaf Drum. So accelerate a little bit further. That's feels like a little bit of a weird choice to play Saga on 1 in that case, but maybe not. With Soul Cauldron, 1 unknown. Something like a Ravager would be kind of bad, but this could definitely be Soul Cauldron. Yep. Okay. Activate Automaton. Okay, and then they're attacking with Zabaz. Sure. Okay. So I can play Beseech, or not Beseech, Unlife. Now we're just looking for a spoils, depending on the timeline here. I'm not going to attack with this because I don't actually think I need to silence them. I'm mostly looking for the ability to... Yeah, I'm mostly just looking for the ability to save it as a chump blocker. I could also use it as a Beseech sacrifice fodder if I want to Beseech out an Inverter, which is definitely a play that I will make if I draw another land. Then the Hope will be in the graveyard. I'll have an Inverter as a potential blocker. And then I can go ahead and win. So Unlife will hopefully buy me a little bit of time here. Our opponent is again on a mull. They don't have that much mana, but we can see what they can do with it. They have another Zabaz. Sure. So choose which one they want to keep. Yep. They're boosting up. I would imagine they would boost up their Walker, but okay, no. Alright, so they're getting a big boost here with Scales. That is still, I can eat it with Cauldron, put this to 9, 10. I'd like them to not hit me below 0 in this turn though, because then that means I still have a turn beyond that. Not gonna block. And yeah, I mean, they can eat that and pump it. Still 8, 9, 10. We don't have anything to activate the drum. Yeah, 10. So I'm still alive here. So we draw. We draw spoils. Okay, so we just win. Easy. Easy game. I should attack and sacrifice the Hope just so that we shut down any sort of theoretical interaction that they might have. Not that this is realistic. Alright, so we take a damage, resolve our Oracle, we play spoils, we search for Simian Spirit Guide. We don't find one, and we win game number 1. Alright, a nice start. So we'll bring in a Pithing Needle, definitely. Spellbomb is also good. Echoing Truth, Hercules, these are good. Ending, we can kill a Scales. Thoughtseize is not as good. Pact, not really needed. Maybe one Pact as a profane target, potentially. I could think about Damnation. I mean, they are artifact, or, you know, like creature-based. We'll cut a Preordain. And we can cut the Hope of Gearper if we do bring in the Damnation. Or maybe we just leave the Preordain in. Spell Pierce is not that important. Urza's not that important. And we'll go like this. We can leave the Damnation. So we have some removal. We have a Needle to shut down potentially if they have like an Ink Moth or a Ravager or something like that. Also, we can shut down Soul Cauldron with that. I mean, it doesn't get rid of the static ability, but the activated ability is very good. And we would shut that off with Pithing Needle. Spell Bomb, just generally good bounce. Nihil Spell Bomb, I'll leave it in as a cantrip and for the possibility of messing with their Soul Cauldron. That being said, it's also relevant for us for Inverter. So I'm reasonably happy about our sideboarding plan here. The endings are nice removal on a scales or whatever. This hand is a little bit slow. We do have ending, we have saga. We make our land drops. I am going to go ahead and keep this largely on the back of having ending for like a potential turn 1 scales, and then we just have saga to play on the ground a little bit while also having a combo piece. So let's see what they do. This is definitely a bit of a loose keep, but I mean, we'll draw combo pieces. Surely we'll draw combo pieces. Let's see what they lead on. So we're going to lead on Seachrome Coast almost certainly, and then we'll probably play this Urza Saga on turn 2. Even if they play a Zabaz or something like that, I will still Prismatic Ending it. Ozolith. Yeah, we can counter that. Or not counter it, you know what I mean? Eat it. Alright, turn 2 we have Suspend Profane Tutor, so I will play the Gemstone in order to do that. This Saga is not as important. Now and then we're just looking to top deck a combo piece, which is very possible. Okay, they have a Scales. Zabaz, no. Okay, Talisman. I still am going to play this Profane Tutor just because I need to get this into play, or get this suspended so that we can potentially use it as soon as possible. Depending on what ends up happening here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if a decent draw would also be another Talisman or something where I can play an Inverter off of this Profane Tutor. Because I mean, I do have the other combo pieces here. I don't have very much in my graveyard, just this Prismatic Ending, so I could potentially fade a turn, block with it. We'll see, though. No guarantees yet. Our opponent is searching for something. I'm going to guess probably a Zabaz, maybe another Ozolith, maybe a Springleaf Drum. But let's see. This is new, this little arrows on the mana. It looks kind of janky, but I mean, maybe it's okay. Okay, so they have another Saga. We're gonna play a, what do they got? Ravager, Ballista. Ballista is definitely one of the more scary threats. They only have 2 cards in their hand left. Maybe they don't have that much follow-up. That would be my hope. Okay, so a second Talisman is quite good here. So I'm going to Talisman. Can play a Talisman. And then we can play yet another Talisman. And we will have 6 mana, which is enough exactly for Inverter Oracle next turn. We'll have 2 cards in our library. But even if they do shut down the Oracle there, we do have the follow-up of Jace the turn after. So we're certainly, I don't want to say in a, you know, sort of done position. You know, we don't have this locked up by any means, but I think we're in a strong position. Hopefully they would like tap out for something like a Ravager here, which is definitely scary, but it is not game ending this turn, and it does give me a window to win. So that would be the goal. Worst would be something like Force of Vigor, blow up both of my talismans or something like that. But even like that, I would still just draw and then play the inverter. And we have kind of a lot of cards in our graveyard at that point, though, which is the biggest concern. So it would be a few turns away. So actually, I would maybe not play the inverter. It would depend on what else they do. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, though. Okay, so they play the Boseiju instead of blowing something up with the Boseiju, and they have an Ozolith. Okay, yeah, I mean does have a lot of counters here, but kind of surprised as to why they are holding up 1 green. Can't be like Endurance or something like that anymore. Not sure what they could be playing off of 1 green. I think here we definitely go get Inverter, and we just go for the Inverter plan. Well, we could have gotten spoils, but how were we to know that? So I can do this. No. This. Inverter. And let's see what they do. We need to not be forced to spend this gemstone mana or gemstone mine in advance. Okay, so that's good. Now we're going to go for the Oracle here. And again, if this gets stopped, we do have the ability to go for Jace next turn. So I'm willing to run this out, even though there is a risk of removal potentially getting me here. Note that they only have 2 counters on their Ballista, so they can't kill this. And we win. Alright, so we got match number 1 with a pretty clean 2-0 over Scales. Scales, I feel like, is a generally good matchup for Naus here. Or, can I even really call this Naus? But Scales being on the uptick, I think is a good thing overall for us. So we'll be back in a second with match number 2. And here is that match number 2. Our opening hand is so close to being great with Spoils, Oracle, a Pact, but only 1 land and no blue mana means that this is going to be a mulligan. This hand is definitely better. I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to bottom the Gemstone Mine. I do have 2 lands. I have this Preordained to dig for a combo piece. There's a chance I need the Pact. I can probably find more lands. So turn 1, I'll play this Mistvault Bridge. You can see maybe I draw a Grace and I want this Preordained to look for a land. Maybe I draw a land and I'm even more sure that I want this Preordained to look for a Grace. I can make decisions about what I want to do with this Preordained based on what I draw and based on what my opponent is. So I see no reason to rush and play it here on turn 1. It also insulates us a little bit better against perhaps some sort of potential discard or anything like that. So Delighted Halfling, this is reading to me like potentially Yawgmoth. Probably Yawgmoth. I don't know why I said potentially. We'll go ahead and preordain here. So we do find a land. That is good. We do need that. But then we're looking for a Grace. Or Unlife. Unlife would also be acceptable. Yeah, so we can take this. We can take the Unlife. And then I'm not going to take the Thoughtseize. Because we're not really going to have time for it. One nice thing about Unlife is Unlife does block Zulaport Cutthroat is life loss. So, you know, yes, they can kill you through Unlife, but wait, can they kill you through Unlife? Are they? Do they? I'm not. I would actually have to check the most up-to-date Yawgmoth lists. Although Colony Garden feels a little unusual. Okay, no, it's Yawgmoth. I didn't know they played Colony Garden. And Pact is... it's almost good, but I don't really think it's good enough here. The issue is that we need to... like, I would like to be able to use these Pacts to potentially stop a creature that they're going to play or something here. And I can't do that if I don't have the ability to Grace. Now, depending on what they do, I could potentially pact something and then spoils for a Grace if I absolutely had to. That would be a difficult situation to be in, though. I think we're just rude. I mean, hopefully they just play like a Strangleroot Geist and then another Delighted Halfling or something like that would be best. It's their turn 3. Note that if we were on the play, we would just... okay, another Halfling is good. That means it's not a Yawgmoth, because they don't have the mana. And it's an interesting question of... maybe they figured they're going to try... well, they could have a Boseiju. Boseiju would get us. Okay. Of course I cursed myself. I can get the land as... I mean, now we're just in the spot if we need to draw Grace. That is not Angel's Grace. So we're going to have to pass. But let's see what they have. I mean, they didn't play Yawgmoth last turn. Maybe they don't have it this turn. Now something like Grist would not really be that scary. Grist is kind of slow. It doesn't do a whole lot. They could play like Soul Cauldron. I think I'm okay with that too. We're just looking to find a Grace. Evolve Roots, more mana. They have a lot of mana. I'm gonna chord. Yawgmoth. Yeah. I think I just have to let this happen. Well, first of all, it can't be countered, so there's that. Second of all, what am I really playing for if I spoils for the Grace, you know? Okay, Beseech, well, we can't play it, unfortunately. We've gotten a little bit beat by our lands here. Maybe they're going to, like, sack the plant token to draw some cards or something. Oh, no, they're sacking the Young Wolf. Okay. Counter on... what did they put their counter on? Wall Roots already had a counter. I'm not sure what they put a counter on. Oh, up to one target creature. Yeah, duh. So I mean, they could potentially sack some creatures here. They could sack like the plant, the wall of roots. They can take a few draws, which would be annoying. They have a Geist, so I mean they can flip-flop these. Yeah, we've got a Young Wolf also. They can draw a bunch of cards. We're probably dead here. I can like... Spoils for Grace isn't really going to do anything. And yes, I could have pacted these, but I'm in like such a bad position if I do that. Okay, so I mean, okay, I can pact it. I can Spoils for Grace. I can Grace. Technically, I'm not dead. Technically, I'm not dead. I'm effectively dead, though. It has to be Spoils for Grace, and then it has to be top deck another Spoils. And we have to live for the Spoils for Grace. The odds are not good. The odds are very, very bad. Even land doesn't work there. So I mean, yeah, they're drawing cards. We will get hit for 7-ish damage here, so I not only, yeah, the Spoils I need to be towards the top, which is rough. Okay, so I mean they're shuffling back their own. It's good to know that they have the endurance. They're shuffling back their own graveyard to get to the Blood Artist again. They're probably gonna like Chord for it or something. We can pact again at this point. I mean, we've committed a pact, so no harm in trying it again. This does mean we will potentially be at a higher life total, which is nice. Alright, pact round 2. Have a Wooded Foothills. They're going to continue drawing a bit, I guess. I think they used their Wall of Roots mana, right? So... I'm not sure that they can actually get the Blood Artist into play this turn. So I think we are going to live to see our turn. But what are they playing? A forest. They pass through combat, which is strange. Still on end step. Strange that they're doing this now. So we have Spoils. We have to go get an Angel's Grace. And then we have to hope to top deck a Spoils. It's that simple. Unfortunately, Unlife is already in the graveyard. We could potentially beseech for something, but what can we really beseech for here? I don't think there's anything. Unlife would have been the target. Damnation, if we had it in from the sideboard, but this is game 1. Not Simian Spirit Guide. Hang on. Habit. Okay, so it was just 1 card down, and of course we exiled another Spoils. So, had that not happened, we would have actually been in pretty good shape had they not had the combo. Alright, yep, nothing else we can do other than go to our turn, play the Grace. And what are they playing? They're trying to play things in response to Angel's Grace? You can't do that. Are they going to Besage you? If it's Besage you, that is actually just going to get us here. So then we're not going to have enough mana. We only have the 2 basics. What are they? Oh, they're courting for 2. Do we care? They can potentially draw a whole pile of cards. Potentially get an Endurance. They can infinite us, get an Endurance. Endurance us. I'll pact it. None of this really matters here anyway. Unless we draw Spoils. No, we don't. Alright, so we lose. That was very anticlimactic. We'll take the Echoing Truth, we'll take their Spell Bomb, we'll take a Pithing Needle. Leyline, no. Ending is okay. Thoughtseize, Pact is like not that great. Hope, no. Other cuts. Spell Pierce is not good. We can cut like a Preordain and maybe like Thoughtseize can be okay. Spell Bomb, Pithing Needle. I could cut, and no, Ending can be good. I'll cut an Ending though. We can hit, potentially we can hit something relevant, but usually their bigger problems are the more expensive stuff. Like if I hit like a Halfling, I mean, sure, it's bolting the bird, but I mean, it's not like we're hitting a Yawgmoth. Hitting like a Young Wolf or something is like okay. But again, they have enough draw and potentially enough mana with the Yawgmoth that they can potentially just get to it anyway, so maybe it's not the best. Maybe I even want the other Preordain on the play. Find our combo more consistently. Yeah, we might actually go like that. So we can be faster as long as we are hitting our relevant cards. On the draw, I might bring the Prismatics back in to slow them down so that they don't like turn 3 a Yawgmoth before I even have the chance to play, you know, when I'm still only on 2 lands and way behind. So let's see what they end up stringing together. Hopefully nothing, because we're just going to roll them here maybe. That would be ideal. Definitely that would be ideal. We do have to keep in mind that they have Endurance. Endurance can definitely be a problem for us. We'll play first. And our opening hand here is okay. It's keepable. So we can preordain, and then turn 2 talisman preordain, and then we're looking at turn 3 potentially beseeching for something. Have to see specifically. We're looking for an oracle, spoils. So, and also we need a land that produces white. I will take a spoils here. I'm not going to keep the talisman just because it's kind of clunky. I can't, I mean, next turn I'm already playing a talisman, and then the turn after that I'm hoping that I'm not having to just play another talisman. Like, I'm hoping to be playing a beseech there. Depending on the board state, I can potentially beseech out a Jace and leave it out, but that would depend on... Ooh, profane. Profane is interesting, because if I profane this turn, then next turn I talisman preordain looking for a land. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Or if we do find the oracle, then we can potentially pact for, or profane for the pact, which will give us a little bit of protection against an endurance or something like that. Is that a grist? Grist is really not that scary. I mean, I'm not. Grist, yeah, I mean, I generally don't find Grist to be a very scary card, but that's because I play decks that don't really care about Grist. So we definitely don't need the spell bomb. This is interesting. It means we can profane for a land, play the land, and then have combo that way. That's... yeah, I'll take that. It would be nice to have had the land already and play this turn, but I don't think we're going to be in that spot. So we are potentially going to be in a spot where we lose to endurance, depending on what they have. And we'll have to see whether or not we feel like we have to go for it, again, depending on what they have. If we don't feel like we could go for it, if they play out, you know, just a pile of creatures, we could potentially beseech sacking the talisman for damnation. Which, note, does not... I was just checking that, but it does not kill Grist. Because it's only a creature when it's not on the battlefield. So they're doing 2 to us. I don't like the idea of... well, okay, I have a couple interesting options here. One is I can get packed. The other is I can get a land. If I get a land, I can beseech for a pact. I think I'm not close enough to dead to warrant having to go for it here into an otherwise slightly awkward situation. So I'm going to go get a Seachrome Coast. No, I'm going to go get an... I think it'll be City of Brass, Gemstone Mine. Gemstone Mine. And then I can beseech for a pact. And set up for next turn. Because I think I'm not, again, I don't think I'm under enough pressure to have to go for it here. And let's say they did have a combo-y potential thing. I can potentially pact and stop them that way. So we'll go get the pact. The next thing that would be good is another land which would stop endurance. This does give us a response to, I mean, maybe they play a Yawgmoth with 3, but okay, sure, they have a Bowmasters. Tap land. I mean, they do have a bunch of creatures, but They don't have any undying creatures, which is nice. At least yet. And I think if they had the Yawgmoth, they would have played it last turn. So maybe they don't have the Yawgmoth? It feels a little bit like they had some sort of interaction, but I mean, maybe that was just Bowmasters in this case. And yes, they can play the Yawgmoth off of Halfling, and it is uncounterable. We do have the ability to maybe sort of more liberally use the Pact here, because we have the Grey Spoils Oracle in hand already. Alright, so they're hitting us for some amount. I like that they're tapping the Halfling here. This definitely reads like some sort of endurance or something like that. So best draw would be another land. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we're going to go for it here. We will Oracle. We will let it resolve. Then we can put a Spoils on the stack. Holding control to hold priority. And then we can put an Angel's Grace on the stack. The city is tapped. We Spoils. We're going for a Simian Spirit Guide. Long live Monkey. And what do they got? I'm betting it's Endurance. We can actually beat double Endurance here. So I'm going to let this one resolve and then just Spoils again. Because now even second Endurance is not good enough because it just sends one card back. I mean, if we didn't have Pact. Alright, so we win game number 2. This has definitely been some long games, I feel like. But we are on to game number 3. Here, I'm going to bring the endings back in just to, again, potentially try to slow my opponent down a little bit. And I'm going to cut... We'll cut the Preordain. We'll maybe cut an Urza's Saga. Urza's Saga is really not our best land here. Note that Springleaf is actually a potential turn 3 accelerant because there is the cool line of play a Springleaf on turn 1 or 2 and then Oracle, tap it to generate a mana and then continue to chain off of that. I mean, this hand is not great, but it has 2 combo pieces. It has an accelerant in Talisman, although it's not really an accelerant because I have to play this Profane on 2. And it has lands. So they're going to play a Chalice on 0. Alright, that's a bold choice. I mean, I do have the Profanes, but besides that... Oh no. So now I won't be playing this Profane on 2, I'll be playing Talisman. It feels weird to bring that in when I literally only have 5 cards in my deck that this is going to hit. I mean, they did face the might of triple Pact in game 1, but still... Land was a definitely bad draw. And that was yet another bad draw. We'll start this Saga going because we potentially will need to get some sort of interactive piece with it. Needle or something maybe. Talisman is good, but this is not looking good overall now. It's just two lands in a row is bad. We even boarded out a land. Our opponent has not that much of a clock, at least. If they don't play a land here, though, I'm reading this as they do have a Yawgmoth, most likely. Because it feels like then they have higher drops that they're looking to make use of. Yeah, I mean, that kind of feels like Yawgmoth. They didn't attack. Even the insect? That is strange. Oh my god, another land. Alright. Alright. So we're just holding up the ability to make construct. Oh, they're courting, never mind. Courting out a, I guess, Geist? 5 for 2? Unless they're getting Blood Artist. They could definitely get Blood Artist. Yeah, not a whole lot we can do about that. Haywire Might, really? That is definitely a choice. So we will make a construct. And it does stop me from getting Needle, which is sort of nice for them. I can sack something with Grist to kill it. I have 8 million lands, so I'm not the most concerned about lands. But the issue is the combo pieces. Yawgmoth? Yeah, okay. So then they're going to probably kill it with Yawgmoth if they kill it. My best draw, maybe... Well, maybe Beseech or something like that to wipe the board. They do still have this active Grist, but I can lose some creatures and still be okay. Alright, so let's see. I would certainly sack this Talisman to get I mean, it's a card. Maybe are they going to endurance themselves here? They maybe only have the one Blood Artist. I am going to sack this just in case I draw something that I'm going to want to play. Of course it's another land. Why would I expect any different? Player Borg. Maybe I should have played Gemstone. It really doesn't matter. I should have actually suspended Profane there too. There's some chance, outside chance that I bounce this. Not sure how many Blood Artists they actually play. If this, you know, does anything to stop them. We'll see. I could potentially go try to check. We're still just losing to their beatdown plan, so that is part of the problem here. Okay, so it looks like maybe only one Blood Artist or Cutthroat. Which is nice. We did also get rid of an Endurance, although they certainly have probably another Endurance or two. Like Courting. Oh, yeah, Spoils is not even a combo piece on its own. Like, let's say I had Oracle. Then I can Inverter for... Or I can get Inverter if I get a Beseech or something like that and then have another combo piece. But Spoils on its own... I mean, I guess I could Spoils for an Oracle and then go for the Inverter play or something like that. So there is options, but it feels a little bit awkward. So they're courting. This maybe feels like a chord for a Shieldred. Probably a chord for a Shieldred. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, drawing more cards. Okay. Beseech would definitely be our best draw. I mean, they do get to refill their hand with the Yawg that's happening, but just getting all this off the table. They've yet to have shown another land also, which maybe they don't have more. Who knows? They're sacking the halfling. They're just gaining all the life. It's like a bold choice. Because they were just looking for the ability to get to a land drop. Sure, wall of roots, yep. Yep, young wolf, sure. Sack the young wolf, sure. That's actually kind of okay, because it means if I do get a Beseech for Damnation or something like that, they are just going to lose the young wolf. Unless they, you know, they can funnel -1 counters onto it, but they're also playing, like, very slowly. They have 8 minutes. I mean, this is game 3. They're probably okay on time. I'm just going to F6 here. I know this is maybe not the most thrilling match to watch, but feel free to skip ahead if you are watching in the video. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're not dead. 10, 11. I mean, yeah, we're not dead. Just suspend a profane in case that becomes relevant. I don't want to do something here like spoils for inverter, just because I only have 1 inverter. I could have spoils for Beseech. I do have 3 Beseeches. I think at this point, though, I mean, I have 5 white cards in my deck. I think I'd rather take my shot at drawing to one of the white cards than spoils for a Beseech here, because if I have Beseech, yes, I can Beseech into inverter, but then I have 4 cards in my graveyard, and I can't live that long in order to be able to play the Oracle. I have 8 million life. I get to draw basically their entire deck here. But again, they don't have... Oh, they have Ballista, though. I'm just gonna pass here. Actually, if I see them making a lot of mana, I'm gonna unyield. Yeah, if I see them making a lot of mana, I'm gonna unyield, but I mean, maybe they're gonna time out. Who knows? We'll see. What are they courting for? Do they have a second? I mean, sure. If you got it, you got it. Okay, yeah, Bowmasters. I don't care about that. We've spent like a minute not doing a whole lot there. Sure, you have a Stranglegeist. You can keep drawing cards, but we have a shot to draw something here. Yeah. Draw your cards. You got a Twilight Mire. You got a Shieldred. So far you could hit me for 8. This is 2 turns, yeah, so that's not going to be all that no matter what. Yeah, another Bowmasters. Okay. Alright, so they're hitting us for 7, putting us to 8. We get a chance to draw a white card. Now they could have Endurance in hand. In fact, they can draw to Endurance. So I think maybe we are just dead anyway. Let's see what we get. Okay. So if we spoils for Beseech, we Damnation. What does that do? I think that's just the play. Yeah, I think that just has to be the play. Because we can't spoils for Inverter, and then, no, we don't have enough mana. And we would lose anyway to Endurance. Beseech the Mirror. Okay. I've technically lived. I think this is not going to go well for us. We'll wait. We'll sack the Talisman. So they're letting that happen. I mean, so we are just stone dead on board to Damnation. It's just hope they make a mistake. It's just a question of, is getting Unlife or something like that any better? And the question is, what do they have as far as removal? They certainly have some sort of removal. Is it worth the shot here? Yeah, I'm gonna get the Unlife. Maybe they like didn't bring in their removal or something like that. We could try. I mean, we're dead in multiple ways here. But we have to give it a shot. Okay. Alright. They got us. So we're on to match number 3. We have a pretty decent looking hand here in game number 3. It's turn 2 Profane, turn 3 Talisman, turn 1 we have a Preordain. We lost the die roll, so we are going second. We just need to find 1 land, although is this scam? Oh, no, it is maybe burn. It's burn, we are happy. Although this, I will say that this version is slightly worse against burn than more classic Adnos has been. So, do we want an Urza's Saga? We definitely don't want the second Profane. Turn 2 we can Saga, Profane. Turn 3 Talisman, City. We actually don't, because the problem is it doesn't. I guess I could have played it a turn later. No, but then I still don't have a creature. Oh no, but I have the Oracle. Yeah, no, I should have kept that. Okay, our opponent didn't play a land, so I'm feeling good about this. We have double packed. Suspender Rift Bolt, sure. Tick down Profane. Draw for turn. We've got a Mist Vault. We've got a Talisman. Now, next turn, we can, on our opponent's next turn, we can pretty liberally use these pacts, because we have Grace on the upkeep of the next turn, and then we tutor out the spoils. That being said, Our opponent can't really do 12 damage to us off of 1 mana, or even 2 mana if they hit the land drop. That being said, if they skipped a turn. They skipped turn 2 from playing a 1 mana spell. So what on earth did they keep? They kept a burn hand that has 1 land, and it only had 1 1-mana spell. Odd choices. We got a spoils. Draw for a turn. Play a gemstone. And play the oracle. Oracle resolves. This always causes a minor moment of panic, even though I know how it works. Just the fact that like you're just like, wait, I'm letting Oracle resolve. But no, that's not how it works. You're just fine. Stack it. So we've got Grace on top. No, this does not actually protect them from like countering the spoils, but they do have to wait until after the Grace is resolved to interact with the spoils. A lot of people mess that up. Alright, so against Burn, we can go down to, honestly we can go down to 0 pacts. Leyline is like fine. It's not good, but it's maybe better than some alternatives. Spellbomb could draw a card. We can play... We can play Pierce, stop some of their burn maybe. Could play an Echoing Truth, we could play a Prismatic Ending. I think I'd honestly just rather be fast. Oh, Thoughtseize is not the best. Alright, so we can play a Pierce, and then we can play 1 ending. Alright, terrible hands, no lands. Keepable hand. Put a card on the bottom. Put a Leyline into play. I do need to hit lands, but other than that, and we have the combo in hand. We have a Talisman for a little bit of acceleration. A Chalice on 0. That's good to know if this ends up going to a game 3. Hopefully it will not. So we had our hate piece, they had a hate piece. I am going to play this Talisman. If they have removal for it, then that's not great, but then I can play the bridge next turn and then just be drawing to a 4th land. Alright, well we are just passing the turn and hoping that they don't kill our Talisman. Blood Moon would also be very bad. Would not like to see Blood Moon. Hopefully they don't have that. They do have Smash to Smithereens. Alright, so now we do just need to hit the 4th land. I am going to tap this down to 1, just in case I draw a fast land. And I don't. Alright. So it turns fast lands into coming into play untapped, because I can use the gemstone for mana and then play the fast land. Our opponent seems to have a bunch of direct damage in hand. Is it worth even suspending this? I'm going to go with no. So yeah, it's not worth taking the damage to suspend it. Drew yet another land. We drew yet another Profane Tutor. This is definitely an interesting game. Excuse me. We'll discard a Profane Tutor. They're going to discard a Bolt. Oh no, they drew another land. There we go. And we are rewarded for our tactic here with the gemstone mine. We will let the oracle resolve. We can stack a spoils. And then we can stack a grace. Simian spirit guide. Endurance. No, they do not. All right, burn. Just as easy as of a matchup as always. It was definitely a bit of a funny game 3 with the ley line blanking everything that they were doing, but then I just could not draw land and was just running profane tutors. All right, we are 2-1, and we are on to round number 4. And our opening hand in game 4 again has no lands, so this is going to be a mulligan. This is going to be, this is a somewhat reluctant keep. I do have the double profanes. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to ship this Nile Spellbomb. And then I'm looking at turn 1 Preordain, turn 2 Suspend Profane, turn 3 Suspend Profane, turn 4 Talisman, and I'm looking at Jace, Grace, Spoils. So I would need 5 lands plus my Talisman. So this is a turn 5 win potentially, which it has to be for this double Preordain to be effective. And our opponent is playing something kind of fast, so that could be a little bit of a problem. I do just need to find the land, so I have to give them the card here. Okay, I will take both of these. So it can be turn 2 Profane. Turn 3, Talisman. I mean, they're just going to kill us too quickly here. There's no way we live this long, but we'll try. Stoneforge, Springleaf. I mean, that's relatively innocuous. At least Profane does not trigger Sentinel. No. Okay, so it's a hammer. I could Thought Seize this hammer. If I do, I haven't played my Profane. I think I may have to, because if I just play the Profane, what am I doing, right? I think I have to. I just need to hope to top deck, because I'm not gonna win if I don't interact with them in some way here. Our hand is lined up very unfortunately against what they are playing. They have double Sigarda's Aid. Target creature you control, and they have another Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. We'll just take the hammer, but we're super dead. It basically has to be runner, beseech, spoils, because then I can beseech for on life, and then the next turn, wait, no, that's not even good enough because I don't have enough. This is adjacent, not an oracle. I think we're just stone dead. We'll give them the opportunity to make a mistake, but the odds are not good here. I guess another possibility is like runner, grace, some sort of multiple grace chain, which again feels impossible. Losing the die roll is definitely bad in this matchup. Definitely bad. Yeah, so they're gonna hammer something. Yep. And then they hit us for 12, put us to 3. And I do not think Beseech is going to be good enough. That is certainly not good enough. And our opponent gets game number 1. So, ending. Definitely interested in that. Spell Bomb, sure. Truth, yes. Recall, yes. Damnation is not the best, but it's not the worst. Needle, yes. Hope we can cut. Nile Spell Bomb we can cut. Pact we can cut. We will leave one. And we can bring in a couple Spell Pierces, cut a couple Preordains, and cut like one Beseech. It's a bit slow. This is not the best, but not the worst. So I've turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Suspend Profaned, and I'm on like a Saga plan, which I really don't want to be on against them, but we'll see. They have Sentinel, they have Sigarda's Aid, 2 Surge of Salvations, and a Pure Still Paladin. Young permanents you control gain Hexproof, yeah. I'm just going to take the Esper Sentinel or the Sigarda's Aid. No, they have 2 of that effect. I'm going to take the Sentinel and slow them down. Yeah, Sigarda's Aid, sure. Alright, so we've got a Saga. We can suspend a Profane Tutor. We're a little bit awkward on colored mana here, but we'll see how that shapes up. Okay, so they just play a Pure Steel. Okay, non-Saga land is good. That is what we want here. I'm going to make a construct end of turn. Because I have the potential to then get Springleaf. Oh. Yeah, I need it as a... Actually, I don't need it as a... I don't really fear Pure Steel. Yes, they could have had Double Hammer and killed me, but if they top decked Double Hammer there, they wanted it more. So here we can get Inverter, which is interesting. Get Inverter, Saga's going to tick up and then down. Or do we get... Oh, I think we get Inverter. So we go to Draw Step. So we can float a mana. We go get Drum. Play that. 1, 2, 3. Now we can invert. We do have a couple shots at we have a couple shots at Oracle here. What do I know? They use their Yonjo, they use their Plains, they played their Sigarda's Aid, so they just have 2 Surge of Salvations and 3 Unknowns. Alright. Sure. That is totally fine. So I'm going to lead on a Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'm going to lead on the Thoughtseize, force them to tap a mana for one of these Surge of Salvations. Oh, they just have all of the Surge of Salvations. Alright, so we'll make a blue. And another blue. Okay, so we got there in game number 2, and now it is on to game number 3. So I am going to bring this Damnation in just as another additional interactive piece. I potentially think I just need as many interactive pieces here as I can get. I'm going to cut a Spell Pierce, actually. I think they're a little worse on the draw. Actually, I could bring the Beseech back in over the other Spell Pierce. Yeah, I like that better, because potentially Beseech can tutor up a Damnation, so it's like an extra copy of Damnation. Okay, so we have Damnation in hand. Our hand is slow, but we do have potentially some interaction between Hurkyl's and Damnation. So I will keep this, although I'm not super enthusiastic about it. Our opponent has mulligan to 5. So potentially this Hurkyl's can be a speed bump that gets me to Damnation, and then I win like a slower game. Potentially with spoils after playing an Inverter. So they lead with Ornithopter, Springleaf Drum. They're burning cards. Giver of Runes, sure. City of Brass, we will play a Preordain. They have 1 card in hand. Don't need this needle. Well, do I want that needle? No, I don't think I need the needle. I will definitely take the Darkslick Choice because I'm looking to make land drops at this point. They have a Saga. Okay. They have Stoneforge. Alright. They got a hammer. They're attacking with the Giver of Runes. A very bold choice. I'm kind of surprised they didn't get Kaldra Complete there. 4th land is good. I need that. We'll see what they do. I mean, maybe they're going to make some tokens. Making tokens would be good for me. It's because, again, I have this Hurkyl's Recall. I want to do 2 damage. I'm okay with that. They're definitely going to be making a token on end step, or my end step. So the question is, do I spoils for something here? I don't think I do. I think I don't want to live that much on the edge. Play the Gemstone. Again, no reason to rush this. I can just pass. Yeah, they make a token, sure. They're probably going to make another token here. Oh, they're floating mana. Okay. What are they getting? Ginger Brute, sure. They're gonna make another token? Yeah. Paradise Mantle, okay. Equip it. One, two, three, four, 5. Yeah, there's no need to rush here. Oh wait, no, that's 6, 7, 8. They just have in their hand 1 hammer. I think I'm just gonna take this and then Damnation. So draw a gemstone mine, which I'm okay burning here. Yeah, we'll go like this. Alright, what you got, opponent? One hammer in hand. No ability to make a construct out of this. So they just have to float a mana. Oh, and then they scoop. Okay. I mean, that was not over, but I'll take it. So we are 3-1. We are making progress. And yeah, that was definitely a bit nerve-wracking, but we got there. I feel like my damnation choices definitely paid off, and I feel like my patience with the Hercules definitely paid off there. So definitely an interesting idea of like having the answer but deciding not to use the answer yet in order to buy yourself increased safety overall. So we are on to match number 5. Is it going to be a 4-1? Let's see. So our opening hand for match number 5 here looks decent. We have 2 combo pieces. We have a Pact. We have a Preordained to help us find something. So I'm definitely going to keep this. Let's see what our opponent does. They lead on Hall of Storm Giants. Second Oracle's not what we needed. Darkslick is okay. I don't need the Talisman. Maybe I should have bottomed that, figuring that really what I need is just the spoils, and I will draw another land along the way. But I made a choice, I guess. This is reading like counterspell, so I'm okay throwing this Talisman into a counterspell. Is it ice? Oh, it's ice. Okay. I mean, sure. It's a little bit annoying because it means I don't have turn 3 potential if I were to draw something that would let me turn 3. But it does mean I get to next turn Talisman and then use this Thassa's as a searching. Mono blue with ice. It's like some sort of taking turns. We're gonna play Talisman. If Talisman does resolve, then I'll play a Thassa's. If Talisman doesn't resolve, then I'll play this Mistfall Bridge. Okay, so I'm gonna play the Thassa's looking for a spoils. Inverter. Yeah, I'll take an inverter. Maybe they'll even kill this or something, and then we're even in better shape. Bouncing it? What are they doing? Archmage's Charm, sure. Okay, so we're like mono blue control is what we're up against. Blue red. Blue move. So we're going to attack first. I'm actually not going to play this inverter this turn, just because I have the ability to inverter Oracle in one shot next turn. I don't want to give them a turn to just pass with all of their counter magic up. We can potentially Delver them out with this Oracle. Who knows? This Beseech. Beseech is definitely interesting here. I feel like I want to just go get another Pact, though. Although that does sort of shut down my ability to... Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't, because there still is only 2 cards in the yard. Yeah, I think I like Beseech. Yeah, we'll do Beseech without Bargain. And maybe they counter it, which is okay. But right now we're just playing it as Diabolic Tutor. The other option here is we get a Spoils, which is interesting. Spoils can represent Pact. Only if we draw another land, though. But we do also have the option to like play Oracle, Spoils. I'm actually going to get the Spoils. Because I can like play Oracle and then Spoils, and then when the Spoils gets countered, or if the Oracle gets countered, then Inverter. We'll see. What do they have? They have Subtlety. That's fine. I'm kind of glad that they played that because it's a card that they're not using against my Inverter. Preordained. Yeah, I mean, if they just tapped down a little bit of mana here, I'd be okay with going. Nile Spellbomb. I think that's worth waiting a turn for. Attack. Again, maybe they'll kill it. I would love for them to kill it. They do have the option to hit. If they top deck a land, they can hit for 10. But I'm not super concerned about that. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay here. Give it one more turn. Probably go next turn, because I think we may have to. But let's see what the options are. Maybe they're playing like Snapcaster or something. Who knows? Seachrome. Not the land we wanted. We'll play it. So here, if I Oracle, and then I Grace Spoils, if they counter the Spoils, I am potentially in a little bit of trouble. Okay, so maybe the play, because I have Grace, if they tap out next turn to activate the Hall to kill me, then I Grace, and then I have Inverter Oracle with Nihil clearing my graveyard. So maybe the plan is to bait them into that. Can potentially Spoils for a Pact here before I lose this 9 life if I feel like I need to. So I have another Subtlety. Yeah, that is a thing. I probably have a Bolt. they don't. Okay, so do I burn Spellbomb here? I think I don't. Because I'm probably going to need to use it on my own thing. My own graveyard, I mean. Saga. It is a land, so we can play that. I have... So I could Grace Spoils. Wait, how much mana do I have? I have 8. I could Grace Spoils. When they counter the spoils, Inverter, Nile, Oracle. Yeah, alright. We'll just attack with this Oracle first, just because why not? Maybe it'll bait them into doing something. No, it didn't. Who would have thought? Alright, so we're gracing. Now we're going to play Spoils. And if it resolves, I'm going to name Pact. But I don't expect it to resolve. Actually, I should have maybe thought about that for another second, because I mean, there's assuming they're going to fight over the Oracle. That's going to have to happen either way. I mean, if they had a bolt, they would have used it, though. So they don't have removal for this Oracle, I don't think. So I am going to name Pact. Now I can go for the Inverter. I think it's decently likely that they have 3 pieces of interaction, but we'll try. Maybe they don't. So they let that resolve, and now they're fighting over the... And now we're fighting over the Oracle. They just have 2 pacts. What do they have as far as counter magic? That's a bad start. The fact that they didn't counter anything else, though, is maybe a positive, but... Did they have the 3rd? I think they very likely do. What else could they even have if not for another counterspell here? They would have done something with their mana. Was it a subtlety? Could be a subtlety. Okay. Alright, they get it. So, what do we want? We want Spell Pierces. We will take Urza. We don't need this acceleration. We can take a Mirror of Fate, just to be a little bit more threat dense. Although this is artifacts for Beseech, so maybe we do need to keep some of them. Spellbomb is kind of mediocre here. Maybe. Maybe it's cut a Preordain, and then Mirror is like really not that good. Okay, yeah, maybe we don't need the Mirror. If we don't want a Mirror in a slower matchup like this, then what do we want it for? I'm not sure, but I don't like this hand, but I think we have to keep it. We have Inverter, we have a Spoils, we can go get a Oracle. We have a pact, which is nice. Fifth land. Consider, sure. Oh, yeah. Okay, another pact is good. That's basically right what we need. I will spoils for an oracle on this end step. And potentially just try to go for it after that. Actually, no, I can't because I don't. What would I lose? Nothing critical. Yeah, the problem is I can't do this in one turn because these pacts are a little bit of an issue. Wait. Use this as Diabolic Tutor. They can counter. We can see what we go get if they let us. What would we get? We will get slightly leaning towards a Thoughtseize. I could see a case to be made for Pact as well. Could also see a case to be made for Jace. Could also see a case to be made for Nile Spellbomb, because I may have to do that and win in one turn. Because I'm not going to be able to... Yeah, because I'm going to need to defend this inverter with Pacts. The other argument there is then get Grace. And then it's inverter, defend it with Pacts if needed, Grace, Oracle. But then my graveyard is going to be too full. So I think this is going to be... And this is going to be a Nile Spellbomb. We're going to go for the one turn. So I'm going to play the Nile. I'm going to hope to draw another land and like protection over the next 2 turns. What is this? Flame of Honor? Yeah. Okay. They have 1 million cards in their hand. Discarding another Flame of Honor, sure. That reads poorly for us. Okay, but we drew the land, so that's important. Let's play Nile Spellbomb. They let that go. And we get to go for it next turn. I'm expecting a subtlety on end step here, based on how they played last game. Oh, is it another Flame of Honor or something? Sure, it's another Flame of Honor. So best draw here would be another Pact. Again, what are they discarding? Snapcaster, okay. Okay, I mean, if they got us here, then they got us here. They could, because they're just sitting on a pile of interaction and nothing besides any amount of interaction. But we will shoot our shot. I mean, yeah, Dark Mage's Charm or something. packed it. This feels potentially rough, but let's see. The counterspell, what are they counterspelling? No. Okay, so we have to pack that. And they could easily just have like force of negation and then a subtlety or something, but we'll see. We will see. This can resolve. We will spellbomb ourselves. Exile our graveyard. Exile our library. We're gonna like try to subtlety our oracle maybe. Subtlety pitch preordain. We were packed for that. Did have another subtlety? Oh, we got there. Alright. Look at that. Easy. Not easy at all. That was brutal. And it did require drawing the third pact. On the draw, I am gonna take these talismans with the idea of just trying to be as fast as possible. Although I do maybe want Preordain to more reliably find Saga. What cards don't I need? Springleaf Drum is like kind of iffy, I guess. Maybe it's one of these. Maybe it is just two of those. And we're just trying to be as interactive as possible. In Saga, this is the type of matchup that Saga is in this deck for, where Saga puts pressure on them and forces them to do something. This is... I mean, I don't like it. It's 2 black sources, but I think we have to keep it. I'm actually going to ship the Grace. No. So I'm going to lead on Nile. I'm potentially going to crack it right away. I'm going to ship the Urza. No. I am going to ship the Grace. We're going to lead on Nile, potentially be forced to crack it right away. I don't like having my 2 mono black lands as my 2 lands. We'll probably off the inverter plan this time. I mean, these pacts are nice, but I mean, this Preordain is going to have to do some heavy lifting, and this Spellbomb is too, because I need blue mana. Okay, that's a start. We'll Preordain. Okay, I will take both of these. Top. And I can Thoughtseize here. And then next turn I can Saga. Counterspell? Sure. Get that out of their hand at least. Alright, so we've got a Saga. I'm gonna probably just leave this Nile in play. I mean, we do need to hit a blue to get this Urza into play eventually, but what are they doing? Target player draws 2 cards. Yes, that's fine. They potentially will have removal via Flame of Norse for it, but this is kind of what we drew up when we included Saga. But the problem is we don't have a combo to back things up, which was part of the plan. Beseech is eventually good, but I think not good here. We're probably going to end up getting... Well, we could get Hope. Actually, not sure if we get Hope or Springleaf. We'll probably get Springleaf, actually. Okay, I think there we get Hope. We'll play a Clearwater. And I will attack this in. Maybe they have Subtlety plus removal, which would be a little bit annoying, but... Okay, I mean, they're probably just going to kill it. That's fine, though. Next turn, we potentially will consider sacking this Hope in order to resolve an Urza. Target artifact, target player draws 2 cards, okay. Alright, what else do they have? Is it another... Could also just jam the Urza as counterspell bait. Could also just jam the Beseech as counterspell bait. Okay, the Archmage charmed and took our Hope. Yeah. See, this is the intent of pressuring them. Again, practice it's not going to work out as well. The question here is, do I go for the Urza here into what is surely a counterspell? Do I Beseech? If I Beseech, what do I get? Could be Beseech for an Urza Saga. Play the Saga, Thoughtseize them. That might be the play, actually. Send regular Beseech. Counter it. Okay. And they've got to consider, yeah. I'm not going to trade my Construct with their Snapcaster. I think I value my Construct more. Land would probably be our best draw, because then we can Thoughtseize it to Urza. They do have the ability to like activate Hall, which is definitely bad. They chose not to. Okay, so I mean we do get the Thoughtseize into Urza. We do have Pact. We could defend it with a Pact. I think I probably will, and then just pay the Pact depending on how this goes. I think our position is not a fantastic one, though. We just haven't really drawn other combo pieces. I mean, yes, we've tried to play to the Saga plan, but if this was like an Oracle and a Spoils or something, I don't know. Maybe we'd be in better shape. It's Stern Scolding. If it's... I mean, we will pack to defend this because this is our only threat at this point, but... Really? Oh, they have a Subtlety. I'm going to pack that. And then I'll pay the Pact. Do you have another Subtlety? That would be a little rough. And they would go down to one card. Could potentially outgrind them here. Okay, I mean, that's in play. That's good. I will attack with this one. If they want to go 2 for 1 on this, they can. Alright. I would like to start spinning the Urza, but obviously I cannot yet, at least. They have a kill Urza, draw 2, maybe. Alright. So we will pay for our pact. And not lose the game. We draw an artifact, which is actually pretty good here. I will think about pacting depending on what they do. Subtlety? Is it Archmage's Charm? I'm actually going to pact that. And then just pay the pact. We'll hit them. I mean, oh, they force a negation to pitching. Stern Scolding. Okay. Alright, so I mean, they get my construct. Are they got block? I would think not. They only have one card, but they do have these Hall of the Storm Giants, which is a large problem. I'm gonna have to pay a pact here. So I think we're not in good shape. Yeah, I mean, so, okay, so there's 7, 8, 9, 10. They can hit for 10 here. Put me to 10. I'm gonna have to spell bomb to draw a card. Suspend a tutor. I'm not gonna play the City of Brass just because it doesn't really matter. And I'm looking at holding this back as a blocker. We're probably dead, but we can try. Okay, so they're gonna attack. An inverter. I think I'm gonna block the construct. Take 9, go to 1. This is all definitely bad. Oh man, live by the spoils, die by the spoils. Has to be Grace on top. Has to be Grace on top, and then we somehow, I mean, we can tutor for an unlife, get and play unlife. Alright, I mean, it's not going to happen, but there is a line. Spoils for Grace. Grace is on top. Spoils doesn't cost us life if the card we're looking for is literally on top. We then have Profane come off, we get Unlife, we draw either Spoils or Oracle. We then take a hit, go to negative, and live with Unlife. And then we draw another combo piece next turn. The missing combo piece. Like I said, not likely. Alright. Here we go. Angel's Grace. Is it on top? Oh, it's only 2 cards down. Alright, well, that's the league. We're 3-2. I feel like we had some decent games. I mean, control like that can definitely be a little bit tough. Yawgmoth, that game took a while, but you know, nice win over Burn. We saw some powerful things. We had the spending the gemstone counter in order to have our fast land come into play untapped come up. That's a rare one, but definitely an important one. And until next time, we are, well, you know, I never really say a tagline at the end. This is mint signing off or something like that. No, it's just weird. All right. Bye, everyone. See ya.